Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Thanks, as always, for being here. It's Thursday and the 23rd, and it's been sunny and breezy and cool. And now our sights are set on a freeze warning in tonight's forecast. Storms for your weekend, and no sign of any warm air about. We got a whole lot of things happening in the weather department, and I'll pick up with that note in just a few seconds. First, though, just a brief mention of upcoming headlines on tonight's program. We'll take a tour on behalf of the Assistant Superintendent of Magafa County Schools of the layout of the land, so to speak, as we'll look at the work being done and talk about the work to be done for the new athletic complex that will, of course, entail the new baseball, softball fields, tennis courts, and other amenities. And two Magafa County women jailed, both passed out in the front of a vehicle, one behind the wheel, a mother and her daughter, while in the back seat was a small child, granddaughter to one, daughter to the other. Local authorities with the Sheriff's Department took both the adults into custody after being found passed out behind the wheel. I've got pictures before and during and after the event, and we'll get to that in just a few seconds. I'll tell you what I've learned today about the Kentucky Court of Appeals case as it pertains to the Magafa County Judges race, and much more. But starting off on that weather note with just a few details that I'll elaborate more on in just a few moments. We knew it was coming. Most of us have, either because we just haven't got around to it for a variety of reasons, or because, we'll say, smartly hadn't put any sensitive vegetation out yet. We'll go with that one. Aren't going to have to worry about the frost that's going to be here tonight, but for some folks, indeed, it's going to be a problem. If you have any sensitive vegetation out, you'll want to make sure it's covered up and taken care of tonight, because we are indeed under a freeze warning that will be in effect from 1 o'clock in the morning for the next 8 hours thereafter. Not all plants and vegetation require extra protection, but you know the ones that do, and tonight will be one of those times. In the ridges, we're talking about temperatures on average 32 to 37 degrees. The National Weather Service says that with clear skies above, in those valley locations, anywhere from 32 on down to 27 degrees. And right now for the viewing area, I've got us firmly in the middle of that with a nighttime low of 30 degrees. So a freeze warning already to be in effect from 1 a.m. through 9 a.m. in the morning from the National Weather Service. Temperatures are expected to range from the upper 20s, as we see, to the low 30s late night tonight through tomorrow morning. And of course, the development of frost and cold temperatures, well, we know what can happen. They may damage or kill sensitive vegetation. Frost advisory has already been wiped out and been replaced with the freeze warning. And of course, this all combines with covering all the bases weather-wise in eastern Kentucky and across the Commonwealth, and enhanced fire danger today with all these dry, breezy conditions, westerly winds creating an enhanced fire danger. And then we're going to talk about some storms possible for your weekend, Friday through Wednesday of next week. We're talking about thunderstorms possible at times from Saturday afternoon through Sunday. A slight risk some of those could be strong to severe. May see some large hail and high winds on Saturday and Saturday night, especially for folks who live around the Cumberland River Basin. And we'll have more on our forecast specifically in just a few moments, and our headlines will also follow these messages. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Mentioned on last night's program, I'm keeping close tabs and a daily update on the Kentucky Court of Appeals case as it pertains to the Magafa County Judge Executive's race. No decision has been returned as of yet. However, I have learned there has been some activity on that front.
The Court of Appeals is now in session.
It's now been 9 days and counting since this three-judge panel of the Kentucky Court of Appeals heard appeals filed on behalf of three parties involved: Magafa County Judge Executive Charles Hardin, the Magafa County Board of Elections, and Republican candidate for Judge John Montgomery. No decision has been returned as of yet. They have also given, as I've told you on a couple of occasions, no timeline as to when we will expect to hear a decision made on behalf of the panel. However, I did learn today that at least one of the judges, maybe all three, but at least one, made an additional request for some more documents that were in the initial batch of materials, I believe, that were already present in the Kentucky Court of Appeals, not additional information to be supplied to them, but requesting to see further documents and information that was already submitted to them. It's not a case that appears as though is lying around with no activity, but they are continuing after 9 days and counting to go over the case, it appears, very closely. I'll have an update in tomorrow's program, should there be one. And here's the disturbing sight making headlines this evening. 2 women in the front seat of a vehicle at a Sagersville business in the parking lot. A small child, approximate age of 4 or 5, in the back seat. And a call to 911 alerting the Magoffin County Sheriff's Department to the situation. The situation being that the driver and passenger, a female, a grandmother if you will, her adult child in the passenger seat with the driver's grandchild in the rear seat. The 2 adults being passed out, one behind the wheel, the other in the passenger side. Police citations filed today on behalf of 2 Magoffin County Sheriff's deputies say that 2 women, 26-year-old Tanya Collins of Sagersville, seen there, and her mother, 45-year-old Carol Gray, who has a Whitensville address, were both in an SUV in the parking lot near or in front of Little Caesars of Sagersville earlier today. A call came into 911 saying that both females were slumped over in the car, one behind the wheel of that vehicle, the driver turning out to be the eldest, Carol Gray, 45, of Whitensville. Magoffin County Sheriff's deputies, according to citations, Jonathan Holbrook, who was assisted by Deputy Neil Adams, arrived on scene. Holbrook, as I understand, was the first to arrive and discovered, as he monitored the vehicle for a few moments before approaching, that the child was in a safety seat in the rear of the vehicle, while the 2 females indeed were passed out. The driver and passenger passed out in the vehicle. The car was not running at the time. He says that after a few moments of monitoring the situation, that he then approached the window, and it took several moments of rapping on the window to awaken both of them. He pulled the driver, Gray, from the vehicle and began to assess the situation, giving her several field sobriety tests, of which citations say she failed each and every one, as well as Mrs. Collins, the daughter, who also was given field sobriety tests, we believe. Both were charged ultimately with public intoxication, which excludes alcohol in this case, as both admitted to taking a variety of pills, and both were also charged with endangering the welfare of a minor. Now, court documents, or police citations, I should say, indicate that the driver, Carol Gray, admitted to taking a 30-milligram oxycodone today, as well as possibly some other drugs that were prescribed to her. She was said to have had several pill bottles prescribed to her in her possession. And this was a photograph taken by an eyewitness just a second or two, or at the same time police pulled onto the lot. The passenger, as you can see, slumped over. The driver is indeed passed out behind the wheel of the vehicle. The police citation for Tanya Collins says that she admitted to police that she had taken Neurontin, Xanax, and Tramadol, I do believe, while no pills or bottles were found to be in her possession. As we understand, the child was turned over to other family members who came to the scene. We also understand that after removing the driver from the vehicle and failing all field sobriety tests, she, as well as the passenger, her daughter, were both taken to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center on those aforementioned charges of public intoxication under the influence of drugs and endangering the welfare of a minor. The pill bottles in the name of the driver, Carol Gray, were for various types of medication, including, I'm told, oxycodone, morphine, Xanax, and possibly some other prescription medications. I've still got more headlines coming up in a few moments. Right now, a community calendar brought to you by Magoffin Farm Bureau. Starts off with a few birthdays. A quick reminder, this is how you get your announcements on the show for free as always. Send them to us by mail, phone, fax, email, Facebook, however you want to do it, or just drop them off here at the studio. We'll start off tonight with a birthday wish or two. And this one reads, happy, happy, happy birthday. It says, would you wish my mom a happy birthday? Diane Howard from Tim and Olivia. Today's her birthday. Everybody say, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Diane. And a happy 85th birthday today from a whole lot of friends and family, wishing you many, many more. Susie Prater, happy birthday to you. Couple of quick reminders on tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau sponsored calendar. The Elk Creek Youth Group, the church is having a premiere of Left Behind tomorrow night at 7. The movie will start at 7. $5 to get in. They'll have concessions for sale. Bring your chair with you, all in support of their youth group. They hope that you'll join them. And also a couple of other things happening. The Tip Top United Baptist Church has revival starting Sunday night at 6, the nightly thereafter at 7, and Brothers Etsy Allen and Elmer Conley from Indiana will be holding services. Everyone is indeed invited to attend. And also a special announcement from a couple of folks, that being the Appalachian Hospice Care Organization and the Floyd County Extension Office. They've come together to offer a caregivers support group, CARE, to offer a place for caregivers to share the daily challenges that they face. And if you have any questions about it or you would like to attend, well, feel free to do so. This coming Monday, it's going to be over at the Floyd County Extension Office, 6 to 7:30, and everyone is invited to be a part of it. And one more special announcement this evening that comes in loving memory of Shirley Faye Minix on what would have been her birthday. Greatly loved and missed by a host of family and friends. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. It's been a bit of a slow start because of a lot of weather delays, but they've made some great strides in the past few days, and they're still expected to finish well ahead of the September 1st deadline. I'm talking about the approximate $3 million project that will be the new McGoffin County High School baseball and softball fields, tennis courts, and all the associated amenities that are planned at this point. Assistant Superintendent of Schools Sanford Holbrook gives us a little bit of a lay of the land tonight. He starts by telling us that ultimately they'll be eliminating the road that goes all the way down, or used to go all the way down to in front of the middle school.
And then you'll have to take what we call this middle lane right here over to the grade school or to either one of these ball fields and the tennis courts. And then you'll come through here, and there's going to be a 3-lane drop over. We're going to have 2 lanes that you go down and 1 lane coming out at the grade school where you drop over right here when you get it finished, and to go to the grade school or to go to the fields or the tennis courts. And that's how the in and out will be. The road that we're all used to that ran in front of the middle school when it was here will be gone. Part of it will be where the baseball field is and the softball field. So that road right there is going to get taken up and will be part of the field for baseball and softball. And as you can see here, we're just kind of standing looking over where the baseball field be, where you see the dozer and stuff. This is going to be probably somewhere out in the outfield. Today, Frederick May, our construction company, poured the concrete for the floor of the first base dugout over there. On the other side of the excavator, where you see that fresh concrete that's poured this morning, will be first base dugout. Where the big truck down there is dumping dirt right now is where our new tennis courts are going to be. And then if you look on across there where the excavator and the other truck is, that's where the softball field will be. And over there, they poured the floor for the first base dugout for softball and things. It's going to be real exciting. Even though the weather's been a little rough on us here the past few weeks with all the rain and stuff, they're still in progress. Will hopefully be done sometime about the middle of August, and hopefully our kids will be playing on this next spring. We're especially looking forward to that because next year McGoffin County gets to host the district and in baseball and softball tournament, so we're really looking forward to having these new fields. Some of the things you see is about where me and you're standing at right now, Ritt, will probably be the home run fence for center field. You're probably almost dead center field of the baseball field and things. But we've been real pleased. Right now they got the road ready to go for the new way over into the grade school, into the fields. Just hopefully we're just waiting on some drainage to be put at the end of it and gravel, and it's going to be blacktop. Until we get that done, though, parents and buses dropping kids off and picking kids up will still use that road. But we're hoping maybe before school's out, we'll have this one fixed so people can start using the new way in and out to the grade school. The old McGough County High School football field, we're going to keep it. It's going to be a field that our younger kids, elementary kids will use for a practice field, maybe even some games down here. And it's going to be just an extra field that we're going to leave it in. We've already got some elementary kids been practicing football. That's why if you look down there close enough, you can see it in the camera, we got it striped. So yeah, we're going to keep it. It will stay, and it's going to be used as a practice field and, as a place for another place for our kids to go to that want to play football, especially younger kids. When you only got one field and 3 elementary teams, the middle school and high school, it's always good to have that extra field. One other thing we're going to add down here, if ever venue is parking is a big issue, and one thing we're going to be is adding an extra parking lot, because in baseball it takes a lot of area to make a baseball field. Most of this will all be the baseball field. There probably won't be no parking, but now softball's a smaller venue, and right here, if you see where I'm pointing, we're going to turn that into a parking lot. And that's going to be a parking lot that could be used by the grade school, or it could be used for these people when we have activities down here in the spring. So we're already getting an extra parking lot down here to help with the activities that we may be having here in the spring, or plus help with the grade school with other things.
The cost, as I said at the top of the report, around $3 million, of course, all paid for by insurance funds, I believe was where the cost came, or the funds for this particular project came. And this, of course, is one of the last projects for the new McGough County High School. The 2 fields, dugouts, bleachers, parking, tennis courts, fences, and all associated with that are included. I'm told that it will be a nicer complex than approximately 90% of the schools or more in the state of Kentucky. And we're also told that it will be done with the approval from the Board of Education to put down sod instead of sowing grass. It will be done before September the 1st and ready to play on by next season. And next season, as you heard, is when they're going to be hosting the district tournament. Now it's time to talk about something that we've been talking about for days. Tomorrow we'll spend more time talking about the severe weather threat for Saturday, tomorrow night late into your Saturday, but we've got plenty of time for that, another 24 hours. Tonight we're talking about the freezing temperatures and the freeze warning that goes in effect from 1 o'clock to 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and there's a good reason, because I think we right here in the viewing area should see right around 30 degrees. Some of you folks might see a bit below, maybe a bit above, but I think 30 and below is going to be where we're going to fall. We'll see those temperatures under clear skies. One of the reasons we're going to see it get so cold. We'll also see that pesky wind that won't go away. West, northwest winds 5 to 10, gusting upwards of 15 miles per hour. At times, they will calm down eventually tonight. I've got 9 miles an hour out there right now at the 6 o'clock hour. I had a peak of 14 miles an hour just a few moments ago. And we did hit 67 here at the studio earlier today after starting off at 35 with a little frost this morning. And as you're looking at, we'll see a bit colder than that tomorrow morning with a little heavier frost, patchy to maybe even a little heavier, I do believe is in your forecast. We're still stuck in the 60s, 61, and the upper 30s for your Friday night. It's going to be a bit of improvement. We'll be out of the frost zone for tomorrow night, but sunny skies tomorrow. What we will be into is the beginning of some showers, and I'm thinking those showers likely, mainly after 5 o'clock Saturday morning technically, so your Friday will be dry all the way around. Saturday morning starting at 5 and thereafter, we'll see showers, likely cloudy conditions, maybe even some thunderstorms and maybe some severe weather, some hail, high winds, rainfall, totals 1 to 2 inches. Good bet for some folks right now. But 24 hours from now, we'll have a much better idea, and we'll talk about it in more detail then. The latter half of your weekend Sunday looks to be mostly cloudy and a high of right around 60 degrees. An improving nighttime low, but still below the average mark, and a 30% chance of some showers early Sunday. And we're talking mainly before noon, I think. Should leave us with partly cloudy skies thereafter. We'll start off next week dry and calm on your Monday, but temperatures aren't going hardly anywhere at 64 degrees for daytime highs on your Monday. And I have a 65-degree day on Tuesday and a 67-degree day on Wednesday, and then back to 65 on your Thursday. No mention of the 70s or above, and this is a little bit, out of sorts, but we're always out of sorts weather-wise in Kentucky. But even for the end of April, to see a long stretch of this cool weather like this, not totally unheard of, but certainly not the norm either. And there you see your Tuesday, partly sunny and 65 and a low of 47. And we'll get back into that shower chance, light shower chance Tuesday and Wednesday and maybe into your Thursday of next week. No break in the pattern as of yet. A break in my time. For now, that's all that I've got. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. It's Friday. I think, if everything pans well, at least one very unique reports to share with you. I promise you one thing. If I do have it, you're only going to see it with me. We hope to see you back here for that and other news. And, of course, we're closely awaiting any word from the Kentucky Court of Appeals. I'll be monitoring that as well as a whole lot of other situations and stories for you when we see you back here after what I hope is a wonderful Thursday evening. Thank you and good night.